Hey everybody, I was going to do a follow-up video to the first one I did showing me reconstructing my meager little vinyl collection, and it is pretty humble, but most of the stuff is stuff that you guys have already seen before, Heart, Foreigner, all that typical, you know 70s and 80s AOR. So what I thought I would do is pull, a few selections out of stuff that I have never seen on the VC before, um, and just some guilty pleasures and a few favorites, and instead of boring y'all to death with the same Tom Petty, Van Halen, stuff like that. So, um, and actually I just saw another one right there that I think I'll pull out, and I'll start with it. So we'll start off with Rainbow's Difficult to Cure. I even had a hard time finding that on CD before, the days of Amazon, and it was always a favorite of mine. Got it after Straight Between the Eyes came out. ZZ Top's first album. Could never find this on vinyl, so I jumped all over it a week or two ago and I found it. It's a little rough shape there. It looks like something's been gnawing on it, but the vinyl's in good shape, and all things considered, the jacket's not in bad shape. Vapors, Turning Japanese. Remember that one? Never seen this, so I figured I'd jump on it, and it's in really good shape. One of my little 80s guilty pleasures there. Pete Townsend, great album. I had it downloaded on my computer forever, and I jumped on it the other day when I found that. Soundgarden. Went by my favorite vinyl store and thought, well, I'll go by there and flip through the crates, just one last time, even though I thought I'd seen everything. So he had this, and I think Alice in Chains in there. And I was really surprised to see that, so jumped all over that. The Producers, one of my favorite power pop bands from the 80s, and they're kind of local treasures. They're out of Atlanta, and I recently saw they're getting back together. Great album if you can get your hands a hold of that. And I think they tour a lot in Georgia and North and South Carolina. There's the first one, then there's You Make the Heat, and I've got two different versions of that cover. That one and the one with the lady in the window there. And then I got Run for Your Life. Good albums. If you can find those, get them. You won't be sorry. Aldo Nova, Subject. Not a bad album. Pretty good. And of course the first one, which I really like, and I'll hardly ever see anywhere. And I actually ordered this off Amazon because most of the local copies are pretty trash. So, Mother's Finest. Can't say enough good things about them. Loved them ever since my brother turned me on to them back in the 70s. Also out of Atlanta. Great band. Still around, still touring. If you can get that album, do yourself a favor and find it. You will not be disappointed. And I didn't know that they'd put one out several years before this. I think this was 75. They put one out on RCA, which I got. Not quite the same thing, but you can kind of hear where they were going. So I was glad to get that. Never seen this around anywhere. Moon Martin. I remember I used to get those old Circus and Cream magazines in the late 70s and early 80s, and I remember seeing the ads for this guy, but I never heard any of his stuff. So this one turned out at one of my local vinyl spots, and I went ahead and grabbed it. It's pretty good. It's not at all what I thought it was. It was a little heavier pop than I thought it was going to be. He looks kind of goofy, but I'll definitely try to find some more of his stuff. Julian Lennon, I love that album. Got it when it first came out, and I wore it out. So I was always on the hunt for this one. Good record. Fast Way, the one Pete Way, I think, is one of his mini bands. Say What You Will was a big MTV staple, so I was glad to see this. I hadn't seen this in forever. The Heavy Metal soundtrack, love it. Everything's good on there, and finding good copies is pretty rare because this usually turns up pretty trashed. Journey's in the Beginning. It's a compilation of, I think, stuff off their first 3 albums. No, it's pretty good. Hard to find around here anywhere. I was waiting for this when it first came out. Destroyer Resurrection. I'm a huge Kiss fan, and this thing sounds unbelievable. A lot of people said he kind of ruined it, but I disagree. It's great. It's a great headphone album. Ezra really did wonderful things with that. This was also a surprise. Lenny Kravitz, Are You Gonna Go My Way? This has a little extra CD back here of some extra tracks, and it's got, let's see if I can open that up. Let's see it. It's got the teal colored vinyl to it. Awesome. And I don't have a lot of colored vinyl, so that was a surprise. I was glad to find that. And last but not least, the Laughing Dogs. As a Kiss fan, I'd seen the programs, and they said that the first Wicked Lester album was used by these guys. So I saw this at a recent record show and decided to grab it. And it's not that bad. A friend of mine told me it was kind of crappy, but it was pretty cool. Late 70s, kind of almost power pop-ish kind of stuff. But that's it. Appreciate you watching, and as I get new stuff, I'll let you know about it. Take care.